Yeah, this is LFDRA audio. I've said this in previous LFDRA audios. It's probably in latest to oldest LFDRA audio and the other two podcast playlists. Well, in the 70s, in the 1970s, in the 70s of 1970s, well, a residential was about a residential with land was about $30,000 to $35,000. Now, with the monetized residential market, the way the rental investment exploits are, and the developments for the foreclosures and the buyouts for developments of apartments that are 300,000, 400,000, 500,000, $1 million plus for a single apartment. In the 70s, a residential property was about $30,000 to $35,000 in the 70s. For a residential house and land was about $30,000 to $35,000. Though since the 1970s, in the year 2025, a residential property anywhere in Australia would start from $350,000, $400,000 to over $2 million. But in reality, the aspect of convenience and electricity, water, and phone line, and the convenience aspect, people are looking at the average person would have to pay, in reality, $450,000, $500,000 to $2 million plus just for a residential that in the 70s was about $30,000 to $35,000. So anywhere in Australia, you'd be looking at it'd start from well above the 400,000s, close to the $1 million to $2 million just for a residential. What a residential was in the 70s of about $30,000 to $35,000. In today's market for an apartment, minimum would be $300,000 to $2 million plus for a residential. So the thing is, the average person really doesn't realise, because they don't want people to know, the complementary residential is not the policy ideology of, it's not a policy ideology. ALP could never think about comp residential with an annual suburb rates of $2,000 a year that returns $20 trillion over 110 years. LMP couldn't think of that policy. The Greens couldn't think of that policy. No Fed or Definition 6 state staffer would ever think of that policy, because the political parties and Definition 6 staff, and especially doctors, are invested in rental investment exploits. Real estate agents will just leave rentals vacant, blacklist tenants, so they can foreclose in the market and develop for units and apartments. That's how the cookie crumbles. All this land, and the average person, I remember when I went to the bank for $50,000 for a block of land, all they said was fuck off. They just said fuck off, pretty much. They just said fuck off. So the way the federal law is, the way Definition 6 law is, what the Fed licenses, and what they claim to be, see, the feds in Definition 6 of King Charles III Commonwealth of Australia realm, Fed and Definition 6 staff claim they're not stable if they don't stay a royal regime. That's the claim by the Fed and Definition 6 staff. They claim they're not stable. I've said this in a previous LFDRA audio broadcast. They claim they're not stable if they don't stay a royal regime of King Charles III. They claim they're not stable. That's the ideology of Definition 6 and the Fed. They claim they're not stable if they don't stay a royal regime as royal staff of the royal regime. That's what they claim. Though a Republic of Australia Federation, Republic of Australia LFDRA party government administration is a fair and equal, stable way from the beginning. I'm not going to go over it like a broken record. All I'll say, in the 70s, residential with a land was about $30,000 to $35,000. So what I was actually going to say in this LFDRA audio broadcast, if we go to the 70s, what was $30,000 to $35,000 in the 70s? So, for example, how USA bought Alaska for only a few $1 million, and now in today's value, they were saying it was $150-something million that America paid for Alaska. So in regards to what was $30,000 or $35,000 for a built residential with some land in the 70s, today, the aspect of what $30,000 to $35,000 could buy you in the 70s, today, what $30,000 to $35,000 would be able to buy you a residential with the aspect of convenience and all of that is minimum. You're at $500,000-$600,000 plus rates, plus interests. So in reality, the average residential now, what $30,000 to $35,000 was worth today, that's about $600,000 to $2 million. What $30,000 to $35,000 was worth in the 70s. We need a fair and equal, stable way from the beginning. So I'm not going over it again like a broken record. That's it for this section of this LFDRA audio today.